explain now the journey, because I've had a lot of people say this a lot of times. The true journey starts after the casket goes down.
Yeah.
Now yours is going down, but there's a new human being in the house who needed the primary caregiver for a child of that age
mother.
Is the mother.
So I remember, when we woke up the following day, we slept at home in Makuyu. All of us, Helima's parents, my parents, our siblings, all of us were there. And we were talking in the morning, and everybody was like, now, how do we help? There was a lot of support being offered left, right, center. And when everybody spoke, Helima's dad, my dad, asked me, so Pius, how do you respond to all this support that is being offered to you? And for me, it was very easy. I had 10 days of listening to my children, all their questions, and their questions were pointing to only one thing: identity. Their question was, who will we call mom from here? When my son says, I will never get a kiss from my mom again. And it was, it was identity. It was an identity question. And for me, that's what I said. You know what? I appreciate the support and I welcome the support. But we need to think about these kids. There's a gap that they have of identity. We need to fill this gap. Otherwise, this might affect them now and especially in the long term. And there's a question of where do we get a mother figure? And a mother is not somebody who visits.
Oh,
a mother is not somebody who comes and goes. A mother is somebody who is consistently and predictably there. And we couldn't answer that question. Myself, everybody, And after that, we came back to Nairobi. All support welcomed, but we have a question that we don't know how to answer. And Helima's sister Susan and her husband made one of the most amazing and radical decisions, that she would stay with us until further notice.
What?
Yes. So, and Reverend Tom Otieno, who is a brother and a friend, we had a meeting and he told me, Pius, we have had a meeting as a family and this is what we have decided. His wife.
Yani, first and foremost, when you're saying Reverend Tom, a brother and a friend, you're not saying brother figuratively.
No.
This is your brother-in-law. This is Helima's sister's husband.
Yes.
So they say what? We have come to a conclusion.
Yes. That if it was the other way around, Helima would have been the only sister. She would have been the one there for the family. Helima was very much involved in raising their children. And here we are with a newborn. There is no way that Helima's sister would have walked away from it.
Oh my God.
To whom does she hand over the child?
Wow.
So she was not leaving. That's what he was saying. She's not leaving your house now. So we agreed we'll figure out how to run two families. The inconvenience, it was going to cause a lot of inconvenience for all of us, especially for their family. So we'll make the adjustments as we go by. But the most important decision, amazing Zoe will have a mother to bring her up for now until God supplies differently. So that has been our journey. And I can tell you something. That healed us like instantly, 60%.
Yeah.
Not just me and the kids, but everybody. As in, you could just feel the tension across the entire family and friends calm down. So today we are running a merged family. The other day we went for a holiday.
Oh my God!
I went back to work after about 2 weeks. Went back to work. I worked for 2 weeks, and I said, now before the kids go back to school, let's do a holiday. So we went for a holiday in Malindi, and we drove. Now, Helima's sister and brother, the Otieno's, they have 4 children.
Exactly.
And we have 5. So we have 9 children combined, and 3 adults, and we also have an adopted daughter, and we have house help. So 2 cars were full.
A bus. You needed a bus.
And even you couldn't find a place to put a cup, because even bags were like this. Off we go, and we had 2 amazing weeks together for a holiday, just to get away. And I mean, that just started showing how the family had merged, So if you talk about bread, 2 800-gram loaves, 4 of them, one day we are done with it.
Okay.
Big family, and that has also brought a very different kind of healing. There's a lot of interaction. Our kids moved from being cousins to brothers and sisters.
Yeah. So, okay. Let me. Pius, you're very gifted at focusing on other people. That's like that's a blessing. But I want to hear about you. Now, what kind of thoughts begin going through your head, and how has your journey been?
So me as an individual, now of course it's a journey of disbelief. I'm coming home, I'm looking at handbags, beautiful handbags we invested in, jewelry, clothes, cars, all of them belonging to Helima, and I'm like, what? As in, she's walked away from all this and she doesn't need them again. And I mean, for me, that has been my reaction. What? Even now, I just say, what? I just see things. And
she had the side of the bed.
I mean, everything is what? So disbelief. Then, of course, a lot of family, friends, clients, talking to me, comforting me, and telling me, I know of somebody else who has gone through something like this. Is it okay if I connect the 2 of you? And then I meet them. I meet amazing people.
What are some of the conversations? You don't have to name them, the people, but what are some of the conversations, and what have you learned from other people's experiences?
I've learned a lot. And grieving, first of all, is very different for each one of us. But there are some certain common threads. One, for a man who's left behind by a wife, and especially with children, it's almost an impossible mission. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's almost an impossible mission. It leaves men extremely vulnerable, very vulnerable, because you've got to take on the responsibilities of your wife, but you can never be the mother. Yet the mother was the engine of the family.
Yep.
I remember going home, and I'm like, it's dark, and I'm like, what happened? They're like, there are no lights, and then we try to find out what happened, and they're like, we've not paid for power. Helima used to pay for power, and now it's my responsibility to pay for power.
Oh man,
you know, like, hey, the internet, why there's no Wi-Fi in the house? What's happened? And Allah, we've not paid for Wi-Fi. Yeah.
How do you even pay? What's our account number?
Yeah, like it's 5th of the month, and someone has not paid the house helps. Allah, it's supposed to come from me. You know. So all this realization of what a companion she was in my life. I started adjusting. I'm trying to take on what I can. I have 5 kids who are coming to terms with their mother not being there, and I've got to be there for each one of them alone, each, because each is grieving and grieving differently. I remember my daughter Tehila asking me the other day, because I told her mom went to heaven, and then she kept praying, God, when we're having dinner, God, I know mom is in heaven, can you bring her back home? And one day my second-born son just told her, you know what, Tehila, mom went to heaven, she's not coming back, we are the ones who will go to heaven. And so I'm putting her to bed, and she's like, Dad, I know mom went to heaven, but my brother told me she's not coming back. You know? And I'm like, I've got to explain this. And I'm explaining, and then I come the following day, and then she asked me, Dad, mom used to go to hospital and always used to come back. Why is it that she went to hospital this time and she didn't come back? And I'm like, she is trying to figure out what is the connection between hospital and heaven. You know, so the other day I was, she had a very bad cold, and I was taking her to hospital, and I was preparing her to take her to hospital. And she's like, Dad, we go to hospital, then I go to heaven. You know? And I'm like, baby girl, it's not your time for you to go to heaven.
You're not going to heaven.
Why? Like, there must be a door in hospital where people just walk into heaven.
Thank you, God, for that laughter.
So anyway, it's a journey, and so I've worked with amazing people. One I don't fear to mention is Pastor John Musimi, who has almost, I read his story, and I was like, wow, I connected with everything that he was going through, and we one of my clients had wanted me to meet him, so we met, and we really struck it off. We became good friends, and he's been there, very supportive. Whenever I want to meet him, we meet and we talk, and he tells me this is how you are going through it. How do you handle the children? How do you handle? There are so many stakeholders. He's taught me a lot of things. Like, there's something called grief branding. So
now when people see you, that's a guy who lost.
When people say that's a guy who lost his wife.